Hi, Common Yogis. Amy DiLillo here, yoga therapist and meditation teacher. Welcome to Gentle Yoga Flow class. If you'd like to have some music, feel free, and you have Spotify. I'm turning mine on right now. Feel free to choose The Music of the Grand Canyon by Nicholas Gunn, or any other type of music that is appealing to you that does not have a lot of words to it. So ambient music is also very nice. So whatever you'd like, go ahead and turn that on for yourself. If you'd like to use essential oil, today I'm atomizing some eucalyptus and I have lemon essential oil on my hands. So feel free to add that to your practice if you wish. The props that you'll need for this class are a chair, perhaps. We will be using it for different things as we move along in the class. So a chair, maybe a washcloth with or without essential oil, maybe a towel or a blanket close by, blocks if you have yoga blocks. If you don't have yoga blocks, a hardbacked book can work as well. You also may wish to have some pillows close by for some poses we get into towards the end of class. So go ahead and take a moment to gather those items along with some water. Make sure you're staying hydrated. Have those items close at hand for you, getting them organized. Turn your music on if you'd like, and making your way into mountain stance. Feet hips distance apart, taking a moment to perhaps elevate and spread your toes, releasing your toes downward onto the mat. Feel equality of weight between both of your feet, and just begin perhaps to roll your shoulders. Notice what you're finding there within your shoulders, your shoulder blades today. And maybe just a few rounds of rolling the shoulders forward, you decide, and then gliding the shoulders back and down. Readjust your stance, feet hips distance apart, bring hips over heels, shoulders over hips. Guide your ears over your shoulders, very gently tuck your chin, as if holding a medium-sized apple or orange. Once you're comfortable here and you've softened jaw and shoulder, feel free to soften or maybe even close your eyes. Notice where your breath is moving. We're not changing our breath yet, but simply observe, where am I breathing? Where is my breath naturally moving through my body right now? As you're observing your breath, notice the texture and quality of your breath. And without judgment, begin to observe where your body might be holding on to tension. And if you're feeling or finding any tension, allow your breath to soften into and around those spaces. And perhaps you'll choose to stay with your natural breath throughout this practice today. Maybe you'd like to move into three-part or diaphragmatic breathing. If this is your choice, then maybe you'll make a C shape with one hand and cup that around your lower ribs, or maybe all your fingers and the heel of the hand go around the ribs. But for a three-part breath, as we inhale, we press our belly away from the spine, filling lower lungs, filling upper lungs, and exhaling in reverse, ending with the squeeze of the belly towards the spine. Inviting these motions in a gently muscular way. So we're naturally allowing for that movement outwards. The muscular part comes at the base of that exhalation, but very gently. Perhaps you're bringing hands to the sides of the ribs. Really invite your breath to move outward as you inhale, to move up and down at the height of the inhalation, and forward and back. Really allow your breath to move through your body. Allow your exhalations to let go of all that you no longer need. Releasing stress and held tension. Allowing for your mind, your body, your spirit to simply be, to be here in this practice. Stay with awareness at your breath as long as you wish. Whenever you're ready, bring hands to your heart center. Set your sankalpa, your deeply held intention. Turn it into a statement. Perhaps I am fluid in my body. I am peaceful. I am healthy and strong, whatever resonates with you. Allow your intention, your sankalpa to move through you. And whenever you're ready, as you exhale, release your arms. On your next inhalation, swan dive, sweeping arms skyward. Exhaling, swan diving, arms back and down, or maybe slightly forward. Inhaling, arms back and up. Exhaling to the sides and down. You can stay right where you are. I'll shift a few times just to show different angles if this practice is new to you. So a swan dive is an active reaching back and skyward. An active reaching back and downward. Our shoulder blades are squeezing towards one another. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. Maybe we're staying here, or maybe we're exhaling, coming into supported chair. Inhaling up. So our supported chair finds our knees pointed towards the center toes. Our hands floating, perhaps resting on our thighs. We'd like a little more motion. Arms can reach forward and maybe skyward. Exhaling down. Inhaling up, or maybe up and back. And maybe we'll stay with this flow, or maybe we're exhaling, sweeping our arms all the way downward to that space just above our toes. Still inhaling upward, exhaling forward and down. Maybe we're allowing an open mouth, sighing exhalation. Inhale through the nose. This is a very gentle way to stimulate our vagus nerve, the longest nerve in the body. And in doing so, with this open mouth exhalation, it invites a relaxation response through the body. Maybe a few more rounds there. Maybe you're ready to come into a forward fold. So feet are still hips distance apart. For some of us, that might mean our forearms are resting on the legs. For some of us, it might mean our arms are hanging. Allow for your crown to hang. And our crown can hang even if we're with our forearms on our thighs. Let's shake our heads no and nod our heads yes. Maybe circling our heads a bit in each direction. And then coming back to neutral with our heads. Let's walk hands up onto our thighs. Maybe from here with a neutral spine. So neutral spine finds us flattening very slightly our lumbar spine. Soften the shoulders. And then we'll come into some cat and cows. Exhaling, scooping the belly, tucking the chin. Inhale, reverse the curve of the spine for cow back. Exhale, cat back. Inhale, cow back. Finding that full range of motion for your body. Nice, deep, smooth breaths. Again, we can stay here as long as we'd like. When we're ready for a change, releasing the arms. Inhale, extended mountain. So in case you can't see my hands, we're going to lift through the palms. So that might mean our fingertips are touching, or maybe we're clasping our hands and pressing our palms skyward. So you decide, whatever feels best to you, soften your shoulders, keep lifting through your crown. Invite your breath to stay deep and smooth here. Maybe you're looking upward. Maybe arms are simply bent here as we add a back bend. You decide. If your lower back feels uncomfortable in any way, release the heels of the hands to the lower back. Squeeze your shoulder blades, lifting heart center and gaze skyward. And let's exhale and release. From here, we'll come into an airplane pose. So feet are hips distance apart. Let's gently bend our knees. We're hinging through our hips and releasing our torso forward. So for some of us, our shoulders might be higher than the hips, or maybe they're aligned with the hips. You decide. Legs can stay bent, or maybe we're straightening them. Notice how you feel through your lower back. Hands can stay on our sideways as we begin to fly our torso from right to left. Maybe arms are floating alongside us. So we're inhaling neutral, exhaling to the side. If this feels fine for your lower back, stay here. If you'd like a little more intensity, maybe one arm is reaching and sweeping above the headspace. Flowing on your breath. Whenever you're ready, come back to center, arms reaching alongside you, legs bent or straight, or maybe hands on your hips. Take your time to lift your torso. If there's any dizziness, pause at a half bend. As you're ready to come into standing, make your way there. Maybe here you'll begin to roll your shoulders, or maybe you're grabbing onto a few props as we prepare for a flowing spinal twist. So you may want to turn your chair around so the seat end of the chair is facing you, and perhaps bring your blocks close by. So coming into a flowing spinal twist, we bend our legs, hinge through the hips, hands might rest on the chair, and inhaling, lifting through elbow or arm. So this is my left arm lifted, my left leg is straight, my right leg is bent, right hand is down. Exhaling, forward fold, inhale up opposite side. So this is using the seat of the chair. If we'd like to go a little more deeply, then maybe our hands are coming onto our hardback books or blocks. And for some of us, perhaps our hands are coming right down onto the floor or mat space. So you decide where you'd like to be. Going through this flow, awakening our spine in all 6 directions. So here's our twist motion. We open from side to side. Forward and back motion we've done as well. So take your time. Find balance on both sides, bending through the knees. Walk your hands up onto your thighs. Maybe you'll pause here with a neutral spine. Or maybe you're coming into some cat and cow stretches. Yogi's choice, take your time, make sure you feel comfortable here. And then neutralize the spine, make your way to extended mountain. Maybe you're swan diving. Lifting the arms, maybe your gaze as well. Let's exhale, releasing our arms alongside us. So we'll make our way into a wide-footed stance. So for some of us, we may wish to, you're in your own home, so you can go wherever you'd like that works well for you, but maybe you're bringing your chair in front of you, or you're coming in front of a counter space and stepping your legs wide. So perhaps you'll go there, or maybe you're comfortable and feel safe here with your legs outstretched in space. So adjust your body so your toes are slightly outward turned. Your back body is going to slide down an imaginary wall. So hands might be at our hearts. Maybe hands are on our hips. Exhale, bend your legs. So it might just be a micro bend. Maybe it's a little bit deeper. We want to keep our hips higher than our knees here. Slide the back body down. Roll your shoulders. Breathe in through the midsection of your body. Maybe from here, you're taking fists to the lower back. So if you're using the chair, one hand might stay on the chair as you lift up and back, or maybe fists are on either side of the spine. Squeeze shoulder blades towards one another. Keep lifting your gaze skyward. Let's exhale and release the back bend. As you inhale, straighten the legs. Maybe you're lifting your arms. Your arms might be bent. Maybe they're straight, shoulder height, or perhaps up high above you. As we exhale, let's sweep our hands down, squeeze elbows into the side ribs. Inhale, up and out. Fingers are spread nice and wide. So maybe we're staying with this flow. Or maybe as we exhale, we might hinge through our hips, scooping our hands in the space between our feet. So again, yogi's choice. Maybe you'll alternate between these options. Exhaling forward and down, inhaling up. Moving through your body's range of motion. Beautiful. Maybe you'll stay with that flow, or maybe with legs bent, you'll release your hands onto your thighs, hinging through your hips forward. Spine stays long. Maybe your hips are sinking downward a bit more. Let's roll our shoulders back and down. Breathing into the body. Beautiful work. Let's inhale as we're ready, lifting the torso, lifting our legs, roll the shoulders. If there's any dizziness, pause at a half bend. If we're feeling fine from the standing position, maybe we'll take the heels of the hands to the lower back. Again, one hand can stay on the chair if that's where we are. Squeeze the shoulder blades towards each other, lifting your heart and gaze skyward. Breathing into your body. And let's very gently release the back bend. Hands come onto our hips. Let's pivot on our heels. And we'll make our way to mountain stance. So stepping to the top of the mat. So we're going to do a little bit more work to get our heart rate up and continue to increase our blood flow through the body. So we'll work on a flow called Flight of the Bird. So we're going to move stepping backward and forward into our warriors. So this is a pose or a flow that we may want to have our chair handy. So yogi's choice. So if we don't have a chair or don't wish to use that, hands can come onto the hips. Let's shift our weight, find a drishti point first, so a focal point in front of you. Shift your weight onto your right foot, peel, lift the left foot, step back into a really casual warrior one. So the left heel is slightly inward turned, our right knee is over the right heel. We'll inhale and step forward, alternating feet, exhaling and stepping back. So maybe we're using the chair. Maybe hands are on our hips. You decide. And from forward facing, giving another view, exhaling back, inhaling forward. So on your breath rhythm, if you'd like to add a little bit more to this flow and you feel safe doing so, maybe you're inhaling your arms back, exhaling forward, alternating sides. Beautiful work. Continuing on your breath, so warming our bodies from the inside out. Beautiful. Take your time, balance your body out here. Make your way back to the top of your mat. Maybe using a chair, maybe not, but we're finding mountain stance, so our feet are hips distance apart. Toes pointed forward. We have heel to hip, hip to shoulder alignment. Ears are coming over our shoulders. So make your way into your mountain. Core is engaged. Shift your weight onto your right foot. Begin to peel the left foot. Maybe you're elevating from Knee coming to knee to hip alignment, keeping your gaze on your drishti point in front of you. Let's exhale and step back into warrior one. So right knee is over the heel. Our left heel is the furthest point away from the body. Left heel is slightly inward turned, and our feet are just a bit wider than hips distance apart. In this positioning for our feet will give us a greater feeling of stability here. Check that your heart and your belly are both forward facing. This is really good alignment for the body. So heart and belly forward facing. Lift through your crown, soften your shoulders, soften your jaw. Let's inhale and straighten our front leg. Keep heart and belly forward facing, shoulders and hips stay squared. As you exhale, hinge forward. Keep your chin tucked. Keep your breath smooth. Notice the sensations through your body here. And I'm simply moving to give different angles, so hands might be on the chair. Our shoulders might be higher than our hips, or maybe they're in alignment with them. For some of us, maybe our hands are walking down the front leg, avoiding the kneecap itself. Breathe into your body. As you're ready, slowly begin to lift your torso. You might pause halfway. Maybe you're ready to come all the way back up. As you exhale, bend the front leg. So again, if you're using the chair, maybe your right hand is coming onto the chair. Let's exhale and open our bodies into warrior two. So now is a time when we can widen our stance and bring our heels into alignment. Check that your front right knee is over the heel. Shoulders are up and back over your hips. Heart and belly are forward facing, keeping the knee over the heel here. So our hands can stay on our hips. Perhaps hands are coming to heart center. Soften the shoulders. Maybe you're reaching your arms out. Spread your fingers nice and wide. Reach your fingertips away from heart center. Keeping your hips in neutral. Maybe you'll exhale and glide your torso forward. Inhale, glide back. So we're awakening through our midsection here. Connect your breath with your motion. Nice, deep, smooth, three-part breaths. Let's glide our torso forward. Turn your right palm to face the sky. Inhale, reverse warrior. Soften your shoulders, reach your arms in opposite directions. For some of us, maybe our right arm is bent. Our fingertips can come and just rest on the shoulder. Maybe it's straight and reaching. The back left arm can just gently rest. We want to avoid pressing on the leg. Can hang behind us, in front, whatever feels best. Allow the arms to reach actively in opposite directions. Soften your shoulders. Maybe there's a side body arc for you. You decide. Keep your front knee over the heel. Breathe into your side body. Your gaze can stay forward. Maybe it's down. Notice how that feels through your neck. Know that it is a balance challenge to adjust or revolve your gaze skyward. You decide if that works for you. Let's exhale. Come back to warrior two. Readjust your shoulders over your hips. This work is so good for our rib cage and therefore for our lungs, inviting more space. Let's exhale and glide forward again. Releasing the arms. So front hand might come to the chair. Maybe front hand is coming to the thigh. Or it might be your front forearm coming onto the thigh. Restack your shoulders, one over the other. Top arm can stay on the side body. Perhaps it's an elbow reach. Maybe it's the whole of your arm. Or maybe you're reaching up and over. Downward gaze is more grounding. You can look straight ahead. Again, skyward is more of a balanced challenge. So you decide where you'd like to be. Keep your breath moving. Soften the shoulders. Allow for a light touch of either your hand or forearm on the bottom leg. Keep the breath smooth. Moving from your core, lift your torso, reach your arms back and out into your warrior two. Let's glide our torso forward and back again. Notice what you're finding through your side body. Let's come back to center, bring hands to the hips. As you inhale, straighten your front leg. Pivot on your heels, so now all of your toes are outward turned. Find that imaginary wall behind you. As you exhale, bend your legs, knees point outward, keep shoulders stacked over the hips. Maybe here, hands are staying on hips or thighs. Maybe fingertips are touching, or perhaps you're clasping your hands. Keep shoulders in neutral. As you exhale, press your palms forward. Your range of motion. Maybe you're staying right here, or maybe you're revolving into a twist to one side as you exhale. Inhaling forward, exhaling, twisting to the other side, yogi's choice. Good. Find balance on both sides. Bring hands back to your hips. As you inhale, straighten your legs. So we're going to come into our warrior one on the other side. I'm going to pivot and come back into mountain, or come into mountain in the other direction, so that when I open, I'm facing you, and that's a little easier for teaching, but you decide where you'd like to be. We're coming back into mountain. Feet are hips distance apart, heel to hip to shoulder alignment, lifting through the crown. Find your drishti point, your focal point in front of you. Shift your weight onto your left foot. Peel the right foot. Maybe you're elevating. Again, use the chair if that works better for your body. Whenever you're ready, exhale and step the right foot back. Take your feet slightly wider than hips distance apart. Heart and belly are forward facing. We're squaring our shoulders and hips to forward facing, tucking the chin in. Breathe into your body. We're on the opposite side now. Left leg forward, or whatever is opposite for you. Maybe you'll take a moment to really tune in and notice what you're feeling, where you're feeling. Keep the breath moving. As you next inhale, straighten your front leg. We're moving through our hips now as we prepare to come into our pyramid pose. So chin stays tucked, holding that imaginary apple. Pausing, maybe shoulders are higher than hips, maybe aligned with, maybe lower than. Take your body wherever you're ready to be. Make sure that your feet are stable here. So setting up our foundation from the feet up. Just let your head be. So chin stays tucked. If we're up with more of a tabletop back, our crown hangs. If we're hinged forward a little more deeply. Staying here as long as you wish, knowing that when you're ready to come up, engage your core. Hinge through your hips, lift the torso, pause at about a half bend if you need to. Whenever you're ready, lifting the torso, maybe the arms as well. Let's exhale and open into warrior two. Take a moment to restabilize. Widen your stance. Left knee is in front of the left heel. The right heel is the furthest point away from the body. Checking on that alignment of your front left knee as you open your torso, your trunk forward facing. Good. So this is a nice stretch in through the groin. Restack your shoulders. Hands can stay on hips or heart, or maybe your arms are reaching out. Spread your fingers. Invite some space. Let's circle through our wrists. A little bit in each direction. Pausing hands, reach out through the fingertips, soften the shoulders, lift through your crown. Let's invite some motion through your head and neck here. Again, you can reach forward or back and bring your hand to the chair, the wall, wherever it is you've positioned your body in your space. Let's return to neutral. Keeping the legs in neutral, let's glide our torso forward and back. Notice, be curious about how this side of the body might feel just a little bit different. Breathe into your side waist. Let's meet with that forward glide. Now your left palm will revolve to face the sky. Inhale, reverse warrior. Top arm can be bent or straight. Arms reaching actively in opposite directions. So keep your front knee over the heel. Nice reach outward, maybe a side body stretch. We're really trying to just open through our side ribs and lungs, our sideways. Forward, downward, or skyward gaze, you decide. Soften your jaw, soften the shoulders. Good, keep your breath moving. Stay in tune with breath. Maybe you're coming back to your Sankalpa. That's another anchoring point. So I am peaceful, I am strong. Repeat whatever you've chosen in your mind. Let's exhale, come back to warrior two. Establish that foundation, or alignment rather. So foundation is through our feet, alignment is shoulders over hips in this case. Glide your torso forward, we'll come into our extended angle. So front hand can be on the chair, on the thigh, keep your shoulders stacked. Maybe you're coming onto your forearm. Keep pressing your top right shoulder back, pressing into an imaginary wall behind you. Top arm can stay on the leg. We can reach through elbow or arm. Maybe we're reaching up and over. Keep your breath smooth. Really awaken through your side body. Invite more and more breath into your lungs. Gaze can be downward. Nice stretch for the neck from that. Forward, skyward, as long as you feel safe and balanced here. Keep the shoulders soft. Moving from the core, keep your core strong. Release your top arm back to your side body, maybe hand on the waist. Inhale, lift your torso, come back to your warrior two. Soften the shoulders. As you next inhale, straighten the front leg. Let's bring hands to our hips. Pivoting on the heels, let's adjust our toes so they're outward turned. Imagine that wall behind you as you exhale and bend your legs. Maybe you're widening your stance. Notice what you're finding, what you're feeling here. Torso can stay high, hands on hips or a heart. Maybe we'd like to hinge forward, hands on the thighs, so spine stays long, chin stays tucked. Perhaps our hands are floating in namaste hands. Hands might float at heart center with elbows coming just inside the knees. Notice where your breath is moving. Let's release our hands to our thighs. Lift the torso very slightly. We're still in this standing squat position. Knees are outward, knees are tracking towards the center. Toes and feet are outward turned. As you exhale, guide your right shoulder towards your left knee. We'll stay there and breathe. Keep the breathing smooth. Let's come back to center. If our legs need a little break, then maybe we'll straighten our legs. If there's any dizziness, pause at a half bend. If our legs are straight and we're comfortable here, maybe we're taking the heels of the hands to the lower back. Squeeze the shoulder blades. We're already adding chest expansion here, or a standing camel. So you can stay here. Maybe you're squeezing the shoulder blades towards one another and pressing heart center forward and slightly upward. If it's comfortable for your neck, perhaps lifting your gaze skyward. Stay with your breath, steady and smooth. As you next exhale, release your back bend. Bring hands onto your side waist. Exhale, bend your legs. Hinge through your hips. Hands come onto the thighs. You're doing great. Soften the shoulders. Elongate through the spine. As you exhale, guide your left shoulder towards the right knee or whatever is opposite for you. Keep the jaw soft. Beautiful work. Come back to center as you're ready. Soften the shoulders. Inhale, begin to straighten the legs, lift the torso. Let's walk our feet back to hips distance apart, little heel toe action, lubricating through our ankle joints. As we come back into our mountain, let's take our fists or the heels of the hands, whatever feels best in your shoulders, to the lower back, feet our hips distance apart. Lift heart center, lifting our gaze skyward, squeezing shoulder blades. Let's exhale and release our back bend. Let's make our way back to mountain stance. We'll work on some balancing poses now, or a balancing pose. So standing balanced pigeon is what we'll work on today. So for this shape, I'll give a number of options of where you may wish to pause and explore your balance, knowing that you can go into the deepest expression or not today. It's up to you. So feel free to come up to a wall or maybe have the tall back of a chair close by. Come into your mountain pose, so really establish your foundation. Feet hips distance apart. Create that alignment all the way up through the body, lifting through the crown. As you're ready, shift your weight onto your right foot. Begin to peel the left heel. So for some of us, this might be right where we'd like to stay. This might be enough of a balance challenge, so honor that in your body. Maybe we'll elevate, so perhaps our knee, our left knee and hip are in alignment, and our elevated foot is in flexion, as if the floor were still beneath us. Maybe we'll bend our standing leg. That would be another place where we can pause. If we'd like our deeper expression of this standing balanced pigeon, the left ankle would come on top of the right thigh, but avoiding the knee. Sitting bones are sinking back and down here. So stay within whatever expression you're choosing. Here's a side view of this shape if you would like it. The right knee stays over the heel. Sitting bones are sinking back and down. So your hand can stay on your chosen prop, or maybe make sure you're finding, there's no maybe about this, find your drishti points. Maybe your hands are coming to heart center. Stay steady and strong with your breathing. Let your drishti be your visual anchor. Your breath is your physical, your energetic anchor. Set your intention on mountain stance. When you're ready, release your arms, release your top leg, and make your way back to mountain. Feet reestablish that foundation of hips distance apart. Maybe we're rolling our shoulders on the breath. You notice what you're finding and feeling in your body. Make whatever adjustments you need to feel safe with whatever props you've chosen. And as you're ready, we'll shift onto our left foot or whatever's opposite for you. Maybe you're peeling or perhaps elevating your right foot. Perhaps you're bending your standing leg. Maybe you're bringing your right ankle on top of the left thigh. So you decide, sitting bones sink back and down. So within our practice, we never want to go into a place of pain in our body. We're always staying within our body's own range of motion. We're playing with adding to that range of motion through the practice. So notice where you're feeling this in your anatomy. Again, you can stay where you are and simply showing some variation. The spine stays long, but our shoulders are forward in front of our hips because our hips are sinking back and down. Keep your gaze on your drishti, one or both hands at heart center. Staying there longer if you'd like, whenever you're ready. Releasing your body, coming back into mountain, shaking your legs a bit if you need to. Inviting a little more space. Reestablish your mountain. Let's bring either the heels of the hands or the fists to the lower back, coming into camel. Squeeze the shoulder blades. Lift your heart, lift your gaze. Invite your breath deeply into your lungs. As you exhale, releasing your back bend. And we'll make our way into forward fold. So for some of us, maybe we will bend our knees, hinge through the hips, and just drape our body over the tall back of the chair. Our hands might come onto the seat of the chair if you want to turn your chair around. Or maybe forward fold finds our crown dangling down. Forearms might be on the thighs as a pause in between there. So make this your own. Be safe in your body. We're in this forward fold with arms hanging. Maybe fingertips are coming to opposite elbows. Play with these variations and give your body what it needs. Legs bent or maybe straight. And those options are there because we really want to observe, how does the lower back feel? If it feels uncomfortable or tight with our legs straight, then definitely bend. Shaking the head no. Nodding our head yes. Releasing the crown, releasing our arms. Let's bend our legs, slowly making our way out of this. We have all this beautiful, freshly oxygenated blood that's in our head, so let's take our time to safely make our way up. Coming into mountain, pause as much as you need to. And we will spend the duration of class on the mat. So take a moment to perhaps adjust your chair so the seat end is facing towards the length of your mat. You will want to bring any essential oils, towels, blocks, or pillows close by now to avoid having to get up for any of those. So very gently making our way onto the mat space. So if we're using a chair, maybe we're bringing our hands to the seat of the chair, coming to all fours and just sweeping our legs around. Make sure you're safe and kind to your body as you transition to the floor space. And from here, we'll come into staff pose. So our legs are outstretched and our spines are nice and long. So for some of us, it might be a bit of a challenge to keep our backs long here. So you might want to take your towel or your blanket and just create a smooth fold. We place our sitting bones on that and then allow them to slide slightly off of it. And that tilts our pelvis forward, inviting a little more ease in bringing our shoulders and hips into alignment. Stretching the legs out so our legs are hips distance apart. So we'll come into a seated spinal twist and we'll add some lateral flexion or side body stretch here. So once you're here, stay here. I'll be moving a little bit to show you some different angles. So establish where you'd like to be, have props close by, spine nice and long. As you inhale, sweep your arms outward and upwards. Exhale, hands down the center line and over to your right leg. Bending the right leg, the sole of the right foot is on the mat. We'll be twisting to the right. So for some of us, we may wish to keep our right foot on the inside of the left leg, or maybe we'll place it on the outside. The big telling point here is, can your sitting bones stay connected to the mat or blanket space? So adjust your feet and legs accordingly. Left heel and hip are still aligned. Spine is long. As you exhale, begin to revolve your torso to the right. Left hand can gently guide the right leg in. Right hand or fist can come behind us. Open your heart to the right. So seated spinal twist. Tail and crown are staying aligned here. Revolve your torso around. Even invite your gaze to go beyond your right shoulder. Left toes are still pointed skyward. Maybe our head is staying right here, or maybe we're moving our head, exhaling, looking over one shoulder, inhaling, looking over the other. Enjoy your breath here. Maybe this is right where you need to stay or want to stay, so you can stay right here in your twist. Maybe you're releasing your twist. Realign shoulders over hips. Keep your legs right where they are. We'll twist to the left now. So my right hand is coming to the outside of my left leg. If my foot is there, maybe I'm grasping onto the middle arch of my right foot. My left heel of the hand is coming behind the spine, or maybe it's a fist instead. You decide what works best, but we're still keeping tail and crown in alignment. Revolve your torso. Again, head can be facing in either direction. Give your neck the stretch that it needs today. Or maybe you're moving your head. Breathing into the body. As we exhale, let's gently release our twist. Keep sitting bones connected to the mat. Your left hand or fist will stay on the mat space. Right arm reaches up and arcs over. Keep pressing your right sitting bone into the mat space. So here, sometimes I like to walk my left hand away from the hip. Keep anchoring the right sitting bone down. Gaze forward, downward, or skyward. Stay with your breath. Next inhalation, we're lifting our torso, shoulders are back over the hips. Release your right leg, outward and downward. Spine stays long. Maybe here we'll bend our legs and add a few cat and cow stretches. Stay with that flow a little longer if you'd like, but whenever you're ready, elongate your legs. Inhale, sweep your arms outward and upward. Exhale, hands down the center line. Let's grab onto our left leg now, or whatever's opposite for you. The sole of the left foot might stay on the mat, on the inside of the right leg, or maybe on the outside of it. Keep your right toes pointed towards the ceiling. Shoulders and hips are squared and aligned over the hips. Elongate through the crown. As you're ready, exhale, twist to your left. Right hand now can hug the left knee in. Maybe you're hugging with the whole of your arm. Fist or heel of the left hand can come behind the left gluteal, maybe right behind your spine. Lift through your crown. Your gaze can flow here. Or maybe you're keeping your gaze to the right or to the left, whatever feels best. Notice if this side, with a curious mind, notice if this side feels a little bit different. As you're ready, gently releasing that twist, exhaling to forward facing, keeping our legs right where they are, tail and crown aligned. Exhale, twist to your right. So left hand is on the outside of the right leg, or maybe grasping onto the inner arch of your right foot. Right hand comes behind you. Tail and crown are nice and long. Open your heart to the right. Decide the direction of your gaze, meaning it can flow, or maybe you're choosing right or left. Allow here for your mind to scan through the body. Soften your jaw, soften your shoulders. You're looking in the opposite direction. Very gently release our twist. We're keeping our legs just as they are. Sitting bones stay planted on the mat space. Right hand or fist can come alongside the right side of the body. Let's inhale, lift and arc to your right. Maybe gaze is in neutral, downward or skyward. Keep your back body sliding along an imaginary wall behind you. Keep anchoring the left sitting bone down into the mat space. As you're ready, make your way back to center. Restack shoulders over the hips, very gently releasing our legs. So here we'll make our way into a seated butterfly. So bringing the soles of the feet together. So for some of us, our heels might be really far away from the pubic bone. For others, they might be a little bit closer. There's no race to anywhere. So you decide where you'd like to, or where it's comfortable for your ball and socket joints in your hips to be. Your knees might be really close to the mat space, or they might be up a little bit higher. Just let them be. Maybe you are propping with blocks beneath your knees, and your back might stay nice and tall here. If you'd like a little more sensation, if it's available to you, maybe you're gripping your hands and squeezing your toes into one another and hinging forward, never forcing the body. Our spine stays long here, so the hinge in this case is going to be through our hips, so there's no cat backs here. Keep your spine and torso long. Keep your breath moving deeply and smoothly. Feel free to stay here as long as you wish. When you're ready to come out of that shape, do so slowly with intention, lifting the torso. And maybe your fists or palms might come behind you. So we'll come into a little back bend, leaving our legs right where they are. Squeeze shoulder blades towards each other. Reach your heart center forward, slightly skyward. Maybe we're lifting our gaze skyward, but we don't have to if that doesn't feel quite right through our neck. Maintain the smoothness of your breathing. And as you exhale, allow your gaze to come forward, releasing the soles of the feet to the mat. We can stay on fists or palms here. Let's take our feet wider than hips distance apart and just find a little bit of windshield wiping from right to left. Allow for that gentle massage through the gluteals here. A gentle little twist through our midsection. So next we'll make our way into Shavasana. So I'm just taking a little peek at my clock. We're getting towards the end of our practice here. So because this is a virtual practice for you, you may wish to make your way into this shape and then just turn your TV or laptop off and enjoy your Shavasana as long as you would like. Feel free to stay with me for the Shavasana as well. It is totally up to you. Allow this to be your practice. So we're going to end our session in a restorative pose, a restorative Shavasana called Babbling Brook. So this is a beautiful way to open our heart center. You might want to grab onto your blankets and or your pillow and maybe even an essential oil towel or an eye pillow. So within this practice, we'll very gently come onto our side bodies. Take the pillow right beneath at the back of heart center and just do a little check here. Is the back of your head gently resting on the mat or floor space beneath you? If it's not, you'll want to take your towels or blanket and place them beneath the head so you can feel some ease and elongation through your neck. And then arms can come out to the side. So legs can stay bent. Maybe your inner knees are touching. Or maybe within this practice, you have already placed a blanket that would go right beneath the natural bend of your knees. So we want to place that there and then bend our legs and make our way back onto our back body. So a support for our heart centers to be open, prop your body wherever you need to. Maybe you're taking or placing your towel over your eyes. Our hands might rest on the belly. We can T-shape or cactus our arms, or maybe our arms are draped up and overhead. So bring your body into whatever version, expression of that shape resonates with you. Please allow your body to melt into this shape. I'm coming out of it just so you have the ease of hearing my voice with more clarity. So as your body is here, allow for the back side of your body to soften. Close your eyes, soften your scalp and your face. And allow for that softening to wash through the whole front side of your body. Allow for awareness to come up to your crown and soften or wash that awareness all the way down the back side of your body. You notice any areas of held tension, simply observe them with a curious mind. And allow for your breath and that curious awareness to soften them, to soften around those spaces. Allow for your breath to smooth. Invite peace and ease through the whole of your body, through your whole being. It has been my pleasure to practice with you today. So feel free to stay right here as long as you wish, nourishing your body with this constructive rest. You're ready to come out of this shape, perhaps bending your legs, creating some movement through your body, and then making your way onto your side body, gently pressing up to seated with legs outstretched or maybe legs in crisscross. Bring your hands to heart center in a gesture, a mudra called Anjali Mudra. Palms are pressed inward, thumbs are resting in our hearts. If you'd like to join me in one sealing Om, let's inhale together now. Om Shanti, Shanti, peace, namaste. Have a beautiful day, yogis. I hope to see you soon. Take care.